Oh, it's Kim. So, of course, with the Epstein stuff, you can go down so many rabbit holes. I've got videos and all kinds of stuff that I've got in my watch later list. I mean, it's like over 1,000 videos. But anyway, so this is that Les Wexner. Obviously, he sat down with the GOP Oversight Committee. This is like almost 5 hours is a deposition of Les Wexner on the Epstein files, or excuse me, Epstein probe. But Leslie Herbert Wexner, born September 8th, 1937, is an American billionaire, businessman, and political activist. He's the co-founder and chair emeritus, I guess, of Bath and Body Works Inc. He has been the principal in Abercrombie and Fitch, Victoria's Secret, and Licenza. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. Among several other retail corporations, I guess the L brands or something like that, like Limited. And anyway, it says Wexner retained Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, this is Wikipedia, so we know the CIA wrote it, so they're just telling us what we want to hear, so it's cool. It says retained Jeffrey Epstein as his financial manager from 1987 to 2007 and was initially the main client of Epstein's money management firm, according to Bloomberg. Epstein ran his business from a house Wexner owned and sometimes lived in. On February 10th, 2026, Representative Ro Khanna revealed that the FBI had named Wexner as an unindicted co-conspirator. Remember, Jeffrey Epstein had that non-prosecution agreement, so if he was related somehow to that, then he probably would have gotten off anyway. But whatever. Okay, so the following day, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Ohio denied Wexler's motion to quash a previous subpoena, ordering him to attend a deposition in an Ohio State University case regarding abuse by a former staff physician, Richard Strauss, who was implicated in the Ohio State University abuse scandal. Whatever. I don't even know what that was talking about, but either way. And of course, there's Jeffrey Epstein, the man of the hour that everybody's talking about, and it's not going to go away, just so you know. And then you can go down all kinds of rabbit holes with all these celebrities that were killed because they were trying to expose all this stuff, this abuse of children. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen to this. I'm going to open this up bigger and we'll let it play for a little while. I probably won't sit for the full 4 hours, even though I updated my Zoom so I can, but I don't really want to sit for that long. That's a lot. But we'll just break this up. It may be like, an hour a day or something, or maybe a couple hours and then some more this week. But this is a Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, U.S. House of Representatives, February 18th, 2026. So hopefully it's loud.
We'll go on the record. This is a deposition of Mr. Leslie H. Wexner conducted by the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform under the authority granted to it pursuant to House Rule 10. Accordingly, House Rule 10 grants the committee broad jurisdiction for the committee to conduct investigations of any matter at any time. On January 7th, 2026, the committee voted to approve a motion directing the chairman to authorize and issue a subpoena to you for a deposition. On January 23rd, 2026, Chairman Comer issued a subpoena for Mr. Wexner to appear today for a deposition in furtherance of the committee's investigation into the actions and investigations of Mr. Jeffrey Epstein and Ms. Ghislaine Maxwell. I will enter the subpoena and corresponding cover letter as Exhibit 1.
I don't know who's speaking.
The committee noticed the deposition for Mr. Wexner on February 9th, 2026. I will enter the notice for this deposition as Exhibit 2. There are copies of the exhibits for us.
I guess they're passing around papers. It's all okay. I don't know.
Can the
I'll give one observation. I did watch a few clips from different people, and it seems like they're just really trying to get Trump. Let's just be honest. That seems like where at least Jasmine Crockett, the one I saw, she was just really, really harping on Trump only. It's like there's other people, not just Trump, that were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not defending the man. If he did something to kids, he needs to be in trouble just like anybody else. I don't care who it is. This really shouldn't even be like a political thing. It should be like good versus evil. Get the perverts off the street. They should not be in power. They should be stripped of all their wealth, whatever you can do to them, and be thrown in prison. Or the other high deterrence would be to, do what they used to do with public in the public eye, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to get banned. But yes, I think that's what they actually should do to some of these perverts if that's what they've been doing. And it's proven. Anyway, I'm going to go on. Shut up now.
witness please state his name and spell his last name for the record?
Leslie, Leslehwexner. Wexner.
Thank you. My name is
Oh, staff name is redacted.
under the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform's rules. You are allowed to have a counsel present to advise you during this deposition. Do you have a counsel representing you in a personal capacity present with you today?
Yes.
Will counsel please identify themselves for the record?
Michael Levy of Ellerman and Zena Levy on behalf of Mr. Wexner.
Elizabeth Martin with Ellerman and Zena Levy for Mr. Wexner.
And Matthew Zeiger from Zeiger Tickets and Little on behalf of Mr. Wexner.
For the record, starting with the majority staff, can the additional staff members please introduce themselves with their name, title, and affiliation?
Yasmin Ansari, Congresswoman from Phoenix, Arizona.
Rob Garcia, ranking member for the secretary.
That's the practice.
Thank you all. Mr. Wexner, before we begin, I would like to go over the ground rules for this deposition. The questioning will proceed in rounds. The majority will ask questions for an hour, and then the minority will have an opportunity to ask questions for an hour if they choose. To the extent members have questions for the witnesses or witness, they will be propounded during their side's respective rounds. The clock will stop if you need to confer with counsel. Your counsel is speaking, and when members or staff are speaking during the opposing side's rounds of questions. We will alternate back and forth until there are no more questions. Do you understand?
I think so.
There is a court reporter taking down everything I say and everything you say to make a written record of the interview. For the record to be clear, please wait until the staffer questioning you finishes each question before you begin your answer, and the staffer will wait until you finish your response before proceeding to the next question. Further, to ensure the court reporter can properly record this deposition, please speak clearly, concisely, and slowly. Also, the court reporter cannot record nonverbal answers such as nodding or shaking your head, so it is important that you answer each question with an audible verbal answer. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Exhibits may be entered into the record, and majority exhibits will be identified numerically. Minority exhibits will be identified alphabetically. Do you understand?
Yes.
We want you to answer our questions in the most complete and truthful manner possible, so we will take our time. If you have any questions or do not fully understand the question, please let us know. We will attempt to clarify, add context to, or rephrase our questions. We ask about specific conversations or events in the past, and you are unable to recall the exact words or details. You should testify to the substance of those conversations or events to the best of your recollection. If you recall only a part of the conversation or event, you should give us your best recollection of those events or parts of the conversations that you do recall. Do you understand?
I think I do.
You are required by law to answer questions from Congress truthfully. This also applies to questions posed by congressional staff in this deposition. Do you understand?
Yes.
If at any time you knowingly make false statements, you could be subject to criminal prosecution, including but not limited to perjury. Do you understand?
Yes.
This includes both knowingly providing false testimony, but also stating that you do not recall or remember something when in fact you do. Do you understand?
Yes, of course.
Furthermore, you cannot tell half-truths or exclude information necessary to make the statements accurate. You are required to provide all information that would make your response truthful. A deliberate failure to disclose information can constitute a false statement. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is there any reason you are unable to provide truthful testimony in today's interview?
No. None.
Please note, if you wish to assert a privilege over any statement today, that assertion must comply with the rules of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Pursuant to that, Committee Rule 16C1 states, for the chair to consider assertions of privilege over testimony or statements, witnesses or entities must clearly state the specific privilege being asserted and the reason for the assertion on or before the scheduled date of testimony or appearance. For the purposes of this deposition, objections must be stated concisely and in a non-argumentative and non-suggestive manner. If the witness refuses to answer a question to preserve a privilege, the committee may seek a ruling from the chair. If the chair overrules any such objection, the witness shall be ordered to answer. If the witness continues to refuse to answer a question despite being ordered to do so, the witness may be subject to sanction. Do you understand?
Yes.
Ordinarily, we take a 5-minute break at the end of each hour of questioning, but if you need a longer break or a break before that, please let us know and we will be happy to accommodate. However, to the extent that there is a pending question, we would ask that you finish answering the question before we take a break. Do you understand?
Yes.
Finally, I will note for everyone here today that the contents of what we discuss in the deposition is confidential under the House Deposition Regulation. Under the rules, the chairman and ranking minority member shall consult before any release of testimony or transcripts, including portions thereof. This means it is a violation of House and committee rules to disclose contents of this deposition prior to its official release. For this reason, the marked exhibits that we will use today will remain with the court reporter so that they can go into the official transcript, and any copies of those exhibits will be kept at the table or returned to us when we wrap up. Can the reporter please swear in the witness?
Will you raise your right hands for me, please? Do you solemnly declare and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any questions before we begin?
I'd like a cup of hot coffee. Did you mind? No, some could get it, but
We can go off the record. We will go back on the record. Another member of Congress joined. Can he please identify himself for the record?
Dave Mann, California 47. Thanks for being here. Dave Mann out of California.
sorry.
Dave Mann
Oh,
out of California 47.
that's
Thank you.
The time reads 10:17 and the majority's time will begin now. Mr. Wexner, is it true that you submitted a statement to the committee this morning?
yes, I did.
I will now enter as Exhibit 1, the statement of Leslie H.
Exhibit 3, because you
Exhibit 3, excuse me. Statement of Leslie H. Wexner submitted to the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, February 18th, 2026. Mr. Wexner, let's start by briefly discussing your education and experience. Where did you attend undergraduate school?
The Ohio State University,
And what degree did you graduate with?
business degree.
And I know you had a long career, but can you briefly summarize your professional career for the committee?
Well, I was raised in a very poor family and we had no money. And I had an Aunt Ida and she loaned me her life savings, which was $5,000. And on the understand I could put it in the bank so it appeared that I'd have money. and I could borrow money from a bank, and I opened a store in 1963. And I opened a store every year for the next 5 or 6 years. And so by 1969, I had 6 stores. I took that company public, not to raise money because it was remarkably successful. And I wanted the associates of the business to own a piece of the business. So I gave stock to virtually everybody that worked in the stores and the back rooms and cleaning people. I mean, I'm very proud of that. And then opened more stores and more stores, and figured out at one point that there was a limit to how many limited stores I could open. So I invented a second business called Express and opened up more and more stores. And what the business then turned into was the largest multi-division fashion specialty business in the world. And in hindsight, I kind of invented multi-store, national and international store retailing. And just a remarkable, as I look back, I don't know how I did it, but probably in my lifetime, I opened 10,000 stores around the world, probably 20 different brands. So that's what I did. And that's what I did in business. And I started to tell you what I do personally, but that's another story.
Thank you. Let's move on to your relationship with Mr. Epstein. When did you first meet Jeffrey Epstein?
Probably 35 years ago, 40 years ago, I don't remember exactly. And met him through friends.
Approximately what year would you have met him?
Probably between 80 and 85. I don't remember.
And how did you first come to meet Mr. Epstein?
It was really by accident. I was friends with a couple, Bob and Wendy Meister, and I was in Florida, and I'd never been to Florida, so they were driving me around, showing me what South Florida looked like, and and they showed me the Breakers Hotel, and they were just driving around the driveway, and Bob stopped the car and he said, "There's somebody you should meet, really smart, savvy guy named Jeffrey Epstein." And so they stopped the car. I was sitting in the back seat, and they introduced me to Jeffrey, and we drove off. That was about it.
So at that time, you had no knowledge of Mr. Epstein until Mr. Meister introduced you to him?
Never heard of him, never saw him, never met him.
Did Mr. Meister ever raise any concerns about Mr. Epstein?
No, he didn't.
And you meet him in Florida. What's your first impression of Mr. Epstein?
Kind of a medium, dark-haired guy. I don't remember saying much more hello, shaking his hands, or maybe nodding from the back seat of the car.
What was your first impression of Mr. Epstein?
Just a guy, but medium height and with dark hair.
At that time, did you have any understanding of what he did for work?
No.
Did you understand Mr. Epstein to already be wealthy when you met him?
No.
At this time, I'd like to introduce what will be marked as Majority Exhibit 4. This is a Vanity Fair article entitled "Inside Jeffrey Epstein's Bond" with Les Wexner from 2021. The article reports on the origins of your relationship with Mr. Wexner.
I'll note a hearsay objection for the record.
I'm sorry.
I'll note a hearsay objection for the record.
Well, for the record here, federal rules of evidence do not apply to congressional deposition.
I'm noting my objection. I'm not instructing him not to answer. I'm noting that this is hearsay. That's all.
Okay. So in the article, it says that you met Epstein sometime around 1986. Consistent with your testimony today, it says that you were introduced by Mr. Macer. Do you agree with the article's characterization?
I don't know. I've never seen the article.
Do you agree with the article's characterization that you met Mr. Epstein through Mr. Macer?
Objection. What character? You said you didn't read it. What characterization are you referring to?
Go off the record. So you previously testified that Mr. Macer introduced you to Epstein. Is that right?
Meister,
Meister.
Bob and Wendy introduced me to Jeffrey Epstein.
And at that time, what was your relationship with Bob and Wendy Meister?
Well, I met Bob because he was a international insurance broker, and they had our business insurance business, and Bob wanted me to meet his wife, and Bob and Wendy became friends.
Did you trust Mr. Meister with advice?
Obviously.
Well, I trust him with insurance advice because that's what he did. He was the vice chairman of an international insurance company. I didn't trust him like for business advice or anything beyond the scope of what his profession was.
I want to direct your attention to page 9 of the article.
He already said he didn't read it. He didn't know about it.
And we're specifically looking at the paragraph, the 6th paragraph from the bottom. It starts in September 1997. And when you're ready, I'll read the relevant.
I just read that paragraph.
It reads, in September 1997, Wexner celebrated his 60th birthday with a dinner at his Ohio estate. Meister says he used the occasion to once again tell Wexner how untrustworthy Epstein was. My wife and I told him and Abigail hundreds of times to stay away from Epstein. Mr. Wexner, do you recall this occurring?
Objection. Double hearsay.
Are you directing your witness to not the witness to
No.
not answer the question?
No. I will direct the witness not to answer if that's my intent. I'm just raising an objection to the record.
I just understand this. I never had a birthday party for myself. In fact, I never had birthday parties. My mom and dad just didn't do that. And Abigail's been great because every milestone birthday has been a surprise party. And I think, I don't remember for sure, but the 60th birthday party, if Senator Lieberman was there and Marshall Rose was there, Shimon Peres was there, John Glenn was there, Max Fisher was there. And Meister was there.
Let me ask you a different
So
question.
he never said this. He wasn't there. He never said this.
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Wexner. Do you recall Mr. Meiser and his wife repeatedly warning you to stay away from Epstein?
Never.
I want to now direct your attention to the 5th page. And we are looking at the 6th full paragraph.
One that starts soon after.
Yes.
I assume it's okay for me to help them identify the right paragraph.
Yes.
Yeah, you read it.
For the record, it reads, soon after introducing Wexner and Epstein, Meiser started hearing disturbing stories about Epstein's sexual proclivities. Think of whatever the worst thing anyone could do is, and Epstein did them all, Meiser said. Did Meiser ever express concerns related to Mr. Epstein's sexual proclivities?
Objection, double hearsay. The answer.
Never.
The very next sentence continues, Mr. Epstein showed up unannounced at Meiser's Park Avenue apartment with 5 models for Meiser's sexual entertainment. Epstein thought he was bringing me a gift, according to Mr. Meiser. Were you aware of this occurring?
Objection, double hearsay.
No.
Did Mr. Epstein ever present you with women for your sexual entertainment?
Absolutely not.
His eyes.
Mr. Wexner,
Are we done? Are we done with that?
we are.
Yeah, hold it.
Mr. Wexner, at any time, did Jeffrey Epstein ever inform or represent to you that he was a part of any intelligence service of any nation, including the United States?
Absolutely not.
Did you ever learn that he was involved with any intelligence service?
Never. Never.
Let's move on to talking about Miss Maxwell. When did you first meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
Probably about the time that I got engaged to Abigail. So must have been about 1990.
And do you recall how you met Miss Maxwell?
Well, Jeffrey wanted me to meet the person he was going to marry, and I was engaged to Abigail. And period.
Do you have any recollection of where you met Miss Maxwell?
No.
Were they gonna get
And
married?
based on your testimony, is it fair to say that Mr. Epstein introduced you to Maxwell?
Absolutely. Yeah. Sure.
And you mentioned it previously, but what was your understanding of Miss Maxwell's relationship to Mr. Epstein?
They dated. They were in love. They were going to get married.
Oh, I'd never heard this.
Would you characterize it as a monogamous relationship?
I thought so.
So during this period, you had no knowledge of Mr. Epstein ever having any relationship with any man or woman besides Miss Maxwell?
No. Didn't.
How would you characterize your relationship with Miss Maxwell?
Like Wendy Meister was Bob's wife, and we were friendly and friends. I met Ghislaine Maxwell because she was Jeffrey's girlfriend, fiance. It never went beyond that. I knew she was smart. I think she was an honors graduate of Cambridge or something. So she was like, spoke with an English accent. So I thought he was really lucky because he finally met somebody that was really smart and nice.
And you said that Miss Maxwell was Epstein's fiance, so it was your understanding that they were engaged to be married?
I don't remember if they were engaged to be married or they were planning to get married, but I was engaged and they talked about they were going to get married. So I don't know if it was engagement or just they both agreed.
During your relationship with Miss Maxwell, how often did you see her?
Very few times.
Mr. Wexner, the committee is investigating the circumstances surrounding Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell and the trafficking of young women and trafficking and sexual abuse of young women or girls. Did Miss Maxwell ever introduce you to any young woman or girl?
No, I don't think she ever introduced me to any female or man.
Did Miss Maxwell ever ask you to introduce a young woman or girl to your friends or associates?
No.
Did you ever introduce any young woman or girl that you met through Miss Maxwell to any of your friends or associates?
Objection assumes in fact not in evidence.
You're fine. So just
Yeah.
to answer the question.
That's fine.
Question. I think the answer is no, but
Did you ever introduce any woman or girl that you met through Miss Maxwell to any of your friends or associates?
no, never.
Did Miss Maxwell ever visit your home in New Albany, Ohio?
I don't recall.
We're going to discuss your business relationship with Mr. Epstein in more detail later, but did Miss Maxwell ever play a role in your business relationship with Epstein?
Never, none.
During your relationship with Miss Maxwell, did she ever represent or inform you that she was a part of any intelligence service of any nation, including the United States?
No,
Did you ever meet Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell?
no.
When did you hire Mr. Epstein to officially work for you?
I think it was about the mid-'80s.
Do you have any recollection of how long you knew Mr. Epstein prior to you hiring him?
Not specifically. Maybe I met him that visited in the car, and maybe it was 6 months or a year later that I asked Bob about. I needed somebody to help me, and I think he said, "Did you talk to Jeffrey Epstein?" I think so. I'm guessing from when I met him first to actually having a conversation, it was probably a year.
Just to clarify, that's not actually the time that you hired him, though. That's the time you had the conversation.
Yeah, I don't. Yes, that's
For the record, you don't recall the exact days that you hired him.
no, I don't.
Another member of Congress has joined us. Can she please introduce herself for the record?
Yeah, I represent the 12th congressional district in Michigan. And this March, please just a little bit.
He is trying. I keep telling him he's trying.
Speak more.
Would help better if I sat more in the middle.
We have the video
Okay.
set up.
Okay, I'll try to speak louder. If I'm not speaking, if you wave or something, it'll remind me.
Mr. Wexner, would you characterize your relationship with Mr. Epstein, at least initially, to be solely business related?
Yes,
Did you at any time ever consider him to be a close friend?
you know,
How often did you interact with Mr. Epstein throughout your relationship?
a lot of phone conversations, but meetings, didn't see him much. You know, most of the stuff, I was traveling a lot because of business. So, and it was erratic. He might call 3 times in an hour and I'd talk to him for 3 months. But that's how I remember it.
When you were interacting with Mr. Epstein, did you enjoy spending time with him?
Enjoyment was fun. No, it was work.
Can you elaborate on that? What were the nature of your interactions with Mr. Epstein?
Like professional, you know, this is what's going on. Have you paid this bill? Do you know about that? Or, you know, I took an inventory of your house and no one had ever taken an inventory of your furniture. Do you know how much furniture you have? And I was like, no, I never thought about it. Well, I know you should know that I have an inventory. Things are buttoned up. It was like what an author, I don't think, how can I explain it? It's like people talk about family offices, and I managed all my stuff, or my admin paid my bills because I was so busy. And I realized there was a complexity in my personal life, and somebody had to just do this stuff because it wasn't getting done properly. And so it was like, you know, professional, I guess what a fiduciary would do, more than what just your accountant would do or your lawyer would do. And something I thought was unfair for my secretary to do.
And you testified that you would, at times, he would call you 3 times a day. Is that a fair characterization of your testimony?
No, what I'm saying is that he would call me 3 times, maybe in an hour. He wanted to tell me something about what he was doing, or would ask me a question about taxes so he could understand what he was preparing. But he might not call me for 3 months, maybe 6 months. I didn't pay attention. It wasn't important at the time.
Mr. Wexner, is it your testimony today that your conversations with Mr. Epstein were predominantly focused on your business relationship with him?
That'd be very accurate. That would be very accurate.
What common interests did you share with Mr. Epstein outside of work?
None.
So you didn't have any personal relationship with Mr. Epstein whatsoever?
I don't think I ever went to lunch or dinner or a movie or had a cup of coffee with Jeffrey. And I thought about that recently. And I'd say the same thing about my attorney. I'd never been to his office, my current attorney, who's been our family attorney for 30 years. How could you? I mean, I can't explain to myself how I could have an attorney who was listed in Columbus, who was my personal attorney, and I'm friendly with, and never visited his office. My focus was on my business, and my focus was on community before my family. That is before my family existed.
Until your family,
Yeah, that's a better way of phrasing it.
It's a general question, but approximately how many years were you associated with Mr. Epstein?
I don't recall exactly.
And to be clear, you at no point ever considered him to be a friend.
No, I didn't see Jeffrey as a friend. I saw Jeffrey as I see Matt, my attorney, as friend. We're friendly, but we're not friends. I mean, obviously, someone that worked for you in a trust position, you're friendly with. You're not in a hostile adversarial argumentative position with the people that are advising you.
It's been reported repeatedly that you were close friends with Mr. Epstein. Why do you think people would come to that conclusion?
Objection, hearsay.
Speculation, because he would tell him that. If he told me he was friends, I mean, if you told me that you were friends with Bill Clinton, I would believe it. Or if anybody told me somebody was a friend, I would believe it. So I think the perspective that I have now, and I think what's really important for this group to understand, is that as I look back at it, I was conned by the world Olympic all-time con artist. And you look at, I read in the news all the people he knew, royalty, kings, princes, and all that. An incredible con artist.
Do you think Mr. Epstein thought you two to be friends?
Objection.
I don't know what he thought.
When did you learn that the Palm Beach Police Department was investigating Mr. Epstein?
I don't recall.
Mr. Epstein was convicted in 2008. Did you maintain any contact with Mr. Epstein after his plea deal?
As I recall, concomitantly with Abigail taking over the finances, my wife is a M&A lawyer. She worked for Davis Polk. She's really smart. And she took over the finances, and kind of concomitantly, she was discovering that he would stole money from us, and concomitantly finding out about these accusations and the criminal activity that he pursued. And when we found out about it, we severed relationships with him immediately.
Mr. Wexner, I appreciate the context, but when was the last time you were in contact with Mr. Epstein?
I have no recall.
Did you have any contact with Mr. Epstein after 2008?
What happened in 2008 again?
Mr. Epstein entered a plea deal related to the solicitation of minors.
Oh, okay. Never talked to him, never saw him. And as far as I was concerned, once we knew how bad he was dead.
Did Mr. Epstein ever ask you for personal favors of any kind?
Not that I recall.
Did you ever ask Mr. Epstein for personal favors of any kind?
No.
How involved was Mr. Epstein in your personal life?
And I wish I could think about that. No, not at all, really. I think he met Abigail after we were engaged, and he didn't know we were going to be engaged. So I didn't discuss my personal life with him or anything. Just he was kind of the business manager of my personal affairs. And at the time, I probably had 20 CEOs reporting to me. And so I had I was used to having business relationships with people, whether it's attorneys, accountants, investment banks that we were doing business with, and commercial banks. But I never had personal relationships with people that I worked with. I was pretty much a loner.
Is it true that Mr. Epstein oversaw your prenuptial agreement?
I don't recall that I had one.
If you did, would you consider that to be a business transaction between you and Mr. Epstein?
Objection calls for speculation, but you can answer.
If I had one, I would have talked to my attorney.
Was Mr. Epstein involved in hiring personal staff?
I think the answer is none. I can't remember anybody that he would have met that I hired personally. And personally, I'm thinking also business and household staff, like that. I can't think of an exception.
We will discuss your financial relationship with Mr. Epstein in greater detail later, but broadly, did Mr. Epstein ever ask you for any financial favors?
No.
Let's talk about your property here in New Albany. When did you first buy the New Albany property?
Probably in the early mid 80s, I started buying property as land. This was what you saw today if you drove around Walmart. This was all farmland. Where the house was a sod farm. So it was just in the country.
Did Mr. Epstein play any role in the acquisition of the property?
No.
Did he play any role in the development of New Albany?
Oh, no.
On your property, would you often conduct business meetings?
Would he?
Would you?
With whom?
With anyone he's doing business with?
Okay, including L brands?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the only business meetings we ever had in the house were business meetings in L brands, community meetings, some university meetings, but no, I don't think we ever had a New Albany meeting as a business in a house. We'd have it at the New Albany office.
Mr. Wexner, did you ever meet with, socialize with, or otherwise engage with Jeffrey Epstein at your New Albany, Ohio home?
Say it again.
Did you ever meet with, socialize with, or otherwise engage with Jeffrey Epstein at your New Albany home?
I'm sure he was in the house, but I can't remember a specific time. I don't remember setting meetings with Jeffrey. Most of the business I had with him was over the phone.
Most of the business was over the phone.
Do you have any recollection of when he first visited the property?
No.
And do you have any recollection of how often he would visit the property?
No.
So is it your testimony today that you would not have been aware of every time you visited the property here in New Albany?
The question, I wouldn't have known. When somebody would explain to you, it's like that I wonder about now. Like Jeffrey might call the office, my admin would say, Mr. Epstein's on the phone, he has to talk to you right away. And I'd pick up the phone and say, what is it? And he'd say, well, I'm in Switzerland talking to a Swiss bank about something. And he'd try to explain it to me. So you wouldn't understand the transaction. It's really complex. But I'm really busy, but I needed to tell you this or know that. And I'd say I'm in the middle of the meeting and I'd hang up. And then, as I said earlier, 15 minutes later, he might call me back. And I'd look at it now and say, he was probably in bed in New York. I didn't know where the hell he was.
Were you aware that Mr. Epstein stayed on your property?
I know he bought Jack Kessler's house, but I don't know when he was there.
And that wasn't on your property.
No, that's my neighbor's property. My business partner in New Albany's friend, or his house, right?
Were you aware that Mr. Epstein stayed at one of your guest house on the property?
No, that the house he stayed at was Jack Kessler's house, which is an adjacent property. It's about a half mile away.
Mr. Wexner, Epstein survivor Maria Farmer was reportedly brought to the guest house located on your property in 1996.
Objection, he's already told you it wasn't on his property.
I'm only, I am bringing up the recollection of an Epstein survivor for the record. Your client is welcome to provide a statement. So again, Maria Farmer was reportedly brought to the guest house in 1996. She stayed there for a summer and claimed she was assaulted there by Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell. Mr. Wexner, do you recall who Maria Farmer is?
I know her name from the press.
Did you ever meet Maria Farmer?
Never.
Is it your testimony today that you do not know whether Maria Farmer's ever stayed on your property?
That would be correct.
Do you have any reason to not believe Maria Farmer's account of being abused by Jeffrey Epstein on your property?
Objection, on his property.
Let me sure I answered this correctly. I never met her, didn't know she was here, didn't know she was abused.
You have a large staff that works on your property in New Albany.
The reason I'm laughing, I don't know. There's a lot of people around, but I don't know how many.
Can you estimate how many people are working on the property at any given time?
$20.
Do you have private security on the property?
I've had private security since 1975.
Are you aware of allegations that security staff on the property stayed with Maria Farmer until her family was able to pick her up?
I didn't know she was here, so I didn't know her. I didn't know she was here, so I didn't know shit about her. Pardon me.
And I believe that you testified to this earlier, but to your recollection, did Mr. Epstein personally own property near your home?
He bought the house from Jack, so half a mile away, if that's near.
Was that the address at the 7500 block of King George Drive?
don't know that address.
Are you aware of the entity New Albany Company LLC?
I think that's what we call the New Albany Company.
Why was this LLC organized?
Because it made business sense.
What was the LLC used for?
I would assume it was for the New Albany project.
Was Jeffrey Epstein involved with this entity?
Only to the degree as fiduciary financial advisor would be, as Dennis Hirsch was. It was a complex project. And, you know, if you would, the family office would look at it.
To be clear, the LLC was used to develop surrounding properties in New Albany.
I don't know that. I would assume that it's in an LLC, or it could be the New Albany Company or Corp or Inc. I don't really know that.
How would Jeffrey Epstein travel to New Albany in the beginning of your relationship with him?
I would assume he flew in. Either that or he took the train or drove.
Did he fly on your plane?
Very rarely.
When he did fly on your plane, did you charge him for using it?
I don't think so.
Do you have any recollection of when you first would have started providing flights to Mr. Epstein?
I think that's kind of a trick question. I don't think I ever provided flights for Mr. Epstein.
And you testified that he very rarely flew on your airplane. Can you elaborate on that?
The only time I really remember that I mentioned earlier, my wife would have surprise parties. And so I'd get on the airplane and there'd be acquaintances, you know, friends, you know, and I was always shocked who was there. Or some people might fly to wherever the party was, which was always a surprise to me. And then some of guest friends would be at the party when I got there. That was another surprise. So I don't remember specifics.
So Mr. Epstein would have been invited to surprise parties for you?
Obviously so, because he was there.
You testified earlier that you didn't consider him a friend. Do you invite people you don't consider to be friends to surprise parties?
Objection assumes that he invited them.
Do I need to answer that again?
Why would Mr. Epstein have been invited to these surprise parties?
My wife would have invited him.
Why do you think your wife would have invited him?
Because he's our financial advisor.
Did your wife consider him a friend?
No, I don't think so.
Can we take a quick break?
Yes, we can go off the record.
Oh, we need to wait.
Oh, sorry, excuse me.
Okay.
We'll go off the record. We can go back on the record. The time is 11:10. We took a short break for the witness to confer with counsel. We have approximately 15 minutes left in the majority's hour. We understand that the witness would like to make a statement of clarification.
Yeah, I think I was inaccurate in that I remember Jeffrey being on a plane at a surprise birthday party, but I don't remember him being at the party. So I think you asked the question at the party and then where we were ready to go. I don't remember him being at the party. I can remember being on the plane.
You bring up the surprise party. On the plane, do you recall where the plane was going?
This private party wasn't on the plane.
Where was this surprise party?
There were a bunch of them. I don't remember specifically which one it was.
Were you on every flight with Mr. Epstein when you traveled on your plane?
Objection. How's he supposed to know that? If he doesn't, he's welcome to specify that he doesn't have.
So say the question again.
Would Mr. Epstein ever use your plane while you were not present?
Never.
Did Mr. Epstein have to ask you for permission to use this plane or use your plane?
He would have, but he never did.
In regards to using your plane, would you
It wasn't my plane. It was the businesses. The business had an aircraft. We didn't own our own airplane till maybe 15 or 20 years ago. And he wasn't on that plane either.
Do you recall Miss Maxwell being present when you were traveling on your company's plane?
No,
Do you recall if Mr. Epstein would bring other guests besides Miss Maxwell while traveling on your company's plane?
no.
There's an address at the 7500 block of King George Drive. Are you familiar with that property?
He just said that.
No. I'm familiar with that address.
Mr. Wexner, how did Mr. Epstein act towards women or girls around him
In his presence, or
in your presence? Yes.
I guess the answer would be kind of normal and nice. He would, he would like send my secretary or admin flowers for a birthday. Courteous, I would say.
Did you ever witness Mr. Epstein have sexual contact of any kind with young women or girls?
Absolutely not.
Did you ever witness Mr. Epstein sexually abuse young women or girls?
Absolutely not.
Did you ever witness Mr. Epstein receive massages from young women or girls?
Absolutely not.
Did Mr. Epstein ever discuss sexual acts of any kind with you?
No.
Did he ever discuss receiving massages?
Yes.
What were the nature of those conversations?
He told me massage therapy was great and I should get massages.
Did he ever discuss who he was receiving massages from?
No.
So it is your testimony today that you don't recall him ever saying anything about receiving massages from young women or girls?
Absolutely not. Or absolutely, I'm agreeing with you. Didn't do that.
Was it common for Epstein to bring young women or girls to any other place where the two of you would meet?
Never.
Did Mr. Epstein ever request that you bring Victoria's Secret models to events at your home?
No, and no Victoria's Secret models ever came to my home, even for business purpose.
Did
one exception?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There's one exception. My wife had for about 20 years, a horse show here for charity. And one of the models' husband was a polo player. And I don't know how they showed up as a couple. And he gave either me or my wife a polo horse, which was, I don't ride. And Abigail wasn't interested in a polo horse. So that would be the only exception.
All right, I'm going to stop it here. And that way we'll ride out about an hour into the video. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Hopefully you're getting value out of this. Just watching his reactions. It seems very much like he's downplaying his role or his friendship with Epstein, but hey, who knows at this point? And this stuff just really goes. Oh, you can go down so many rabbit holes just saying. There's so many tangents and so many people involved, and so many people that have been exposing all of this stuff for years, and then they wind up dying, and it's just like a whole thing. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. I'll get some more of these recorded. And anyway, have a good one. Bye.